Hello everybody, and welcome back to Open Source Tonight. Today, folks, what I want to show you is the rm command. And the rm command is a command that you can use to delete files, but if you aren't careful, you could accidentally destroy your entire Linux system. I'm going to go ahead and show you that today. Again, don't try this at home or anywhere like that. This is a very, very dangerous command if that you use it the way I'm about to show you in this demo. This is in a virtual machine. I'm not going to mess up any production system for me. This is just a VM, so no big deal. Alright, so we've got the virtual machine going. Let's get the terminal up here. I'm going to make it nice and big so y'all can see. What we're going to do is erase the entire drive in this VM, and then we can restore it, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do this. Again, if somebody gives you this, there's also, depending on the distro and what you're trying to do, there's different ways to do it. If you are given this, and you have to type in your password, again, don't do this. You're going to see I'm deleting my entire system right now, and I'm not going to be able to reboot properly in a minute, because I'm literally deleting the entire system, okay? As you can see, my desktop background is gone. It's just messing up everything. And even though there's some operation not permitted on a few of these, my VM's locked up. I have to actually exit the VM software at this point. And let's just do a hard restart like we simulated rebooting the computer. This is in VirtualBox. And there we go. We got grub. Uh-oh! So you can see why that you do not want to use this command in a dangerous way. Because once you do, you've messed up your box is what you've done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come out of this. And let me see here. We're going to close this VM down. And yeah, let's restore snapshot too as soon as we power it off. That's the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to come in here and let's go back into VirtualBox and let's go ahead and restore now. So it's going to go ahead and take a few seconds to get me back to where I was right before we did this test. I made a snapshot directly before, and just like that, we're back. And you can even see the time will take a few seconds to update. So it's there it goes. It was 10:08 for a second. Now it's back to 10:10. And so you can see that it really did get us right back to where we was. So there we go. We've got our terminal again and everything. We'll make that big again. So how could you use this in a way that's actually useful? Well, if you want to make a script that's going to delete specific things, that could be useful to you. So I'm going to make a file, and we're going to just put it on the desktop here. You'll be able to see it over here pop up. I'm just going to call it test.txt. Hit enter. And, there, well, it popped up in the other corner. Anyway, I'll move it up there. So I like it to be neat, okay? Anyway, so let's go ahead and delete that file and just that file. So I'm going to reference that exact file's location, hit enter, and just like that, it removes it. And that immediately removes it from the system. It doesn't throw it in the trash or anything first. So this can be very useful as somebody that writes bash scripts, for example, where maybe I need to temporarily download a file with something like wget. If you haven't seen wget before, this is the command. You can give it a web address and it will download the file. So you give it like an MP3, WAV, photo, text file, anything basically on a web server, and it will download it, web page, etc. Then you could delete it. So for example, I have used this before to like download like a dev package, install it, and then delete it, all in an automated way. So like through like a bash script, for example. So the rm command can be useful, and I can also remove folders in the same way. So I can make a test folder called test, and oh, I made it in my home folder, not in the desktop, which is fine. We could do that, but let's just put it on the desktop. In fact, let's just go to the desktop. So as you can see, I've got a folder called test. Now, if I go rm test, you're going to see it's going to yell at me and say, this is a directory, which is another word for a folder that goes back to old days in computers. Well, if I do -r for recursive and then I reference the folder, it deletes it. No problem. And now if we reload, you can see it's gone just like that I expect it to be. And so this could be useful, again, if you have a folder where you want to do some temporary data, and then when you're done, you can just delete it. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll make something in the temp folder, and you can see there's already stuff here. I'll make stuff in the temp folder, so I'll like make a temp folder for something inside of the temp folder. It's like a subfolder, so maybe we'll call it test like I was talking about earlier, and then we'll make a bunch of files in it. There, I've made 3 files using the touch command. And there you go. Just like that, we have 3 files. They're literally blank text files. Let's delete them. So I could delete them with the star key, and this is another thing that's very dangerous with the rm command, because this will delete anything where you're at. In this case, it would ignore folders / directories, but everything else. And so you do not want that. Right now, this is okay. But what if I was in my home directory? I would delete everything in there except for the folders and stuff inside of subfolders. And if I put an R before this, oh goodness, now we're going to delete everything. And so you can see this can be very dangerous. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it anyway. There you go. And let's run that touch command again and get those 3 files back. And they're back. And now what I'm going to show you is if we delete the folder, we can delete it with stuff in it. So I'm going to go rm test. But see, still tells me it's a directory. If you have nothing in it, there's actually rmdirr. And if it's an empty directory, you can delete it. But if it's got anything in it with the rmdir command, it will not. So in your case, or in my case here, it will not work because we have a directory that is not empty. So I'm going to do rm space -r, and just like before, if I go back, it's gone. Anyway, folks, that's just a couple little things about the rm command. If you use it carefully as a script writer or something, or to manage your systems via SSH or something and delete files you don't need anymore, it can be safe and useful. But you need to be careful where you use it and how you use it. I have broken some of my systems over the years, like actual production systems, by accident because I made the mistake of using like rm space star in the wrong directory. So just be careful with it. Hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again very soon. Goodbye, everybody. And action.